my hypothesis is that if the more comment outreach you do, the better the results going to be. And it's going to be linearly. If you can do 150 a day, that's going to be better than 100. You can do 200, that's going to be like, it's going to be a linear effect.
I wanted to ask about Twitter, like how's the analytics going? How's the graph?
In the morning, it's always down, I've realized. And then it increases during the day because there's always a delay in the data. First of all, I think the X time zone is different from my time zone. And your time zone is also different from my time zone. And maybe there's also a delay. So it's always, in the mornings, it's always like low, I've realized. But yeah, some of the other days before there's been quite low also, some days.
I was thinking if you can send me, screenshot every Monday so I can see how's it going and plan ahead the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can show you, because there are like two lines. The one you see is mostly the green line. The green line is profile visits and the blue line is impressions. And I'm mostly interested in impressions because essentially you have, if you're trying to grow an account on Twitter, then you have, first you need to get like a funnel. So first you need to get all the impressions and then you get a profile visits and then you get a follow. So it's basically like a funnel. So impressions are the first thing that, we want to try to maximize. And that's the blue line. And the blue line I think is it's growing. It's still on trend. The profile visit, which is the green line, that has been a little bit more unpredictable, which makes sense because it's also much lower volume. So yeah, it's more unpredictable. And then it goes down in today just because it's the morning today. And then hopefully it will rise. But I can absolutely start sending you these these screenshots. And if you want to see, just message me and then I'll do it if I forget about it.
Okay. If I can get it on every Monday, basically I can see what we're lagging, how I can improve, how the impressions going, and I can plan ahead the week. So the graph goes up every time, every week. Yeah. So there's an improvement every week if I see the screenshot. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we were doing the jobs posts on Upwork. So I just had very few questions. What I'm doing is basically I post a job, then we get proposals basically. Then we have made a test, not for Twitter, but for the other jobs. Now we have 3 tests, so I can just send them one by one. When they send a proposal, I send them the test, and whoever performs the test, I just shortlist them just so you can see that they've sent the test, and you can overview the test, and they're just shortlisted. And usually people are, they have an issue with their budget.
Yeah, we should clarify. In your messaging, have they had a problem with the budget? Or
yeah, I had that question basically, but I saw your conversations with them, so I had an idea on how we would proceed with it. And about the job post, if I close a job post, what it does is it will notify all the people that, jobs. We're going to hire more people because your shortlist is listed, and then we have a trial period for them. So we have to hire new ones, and we cannot post many jobs on Upwork because it violates state policy and suspend us.
Yeah, just keep the job open then. It can be open for like 30 days or something. So there's no reason to close it then because it will close automatically.
Yeah, I'm just going to go and have a look at Upwork again, how it goes with the job posts.
Yeah, I think what you said is perfect. So like you said, as soon as you get a proposal, you message them with the test project. If they reply with the test project, you shortlist them. What I see for you going forward is I want you to also be able to analyze the test project to evaluate if they're a good fit or not. And then you'll say, okay, we like you, we can offer this amount. And then some people will bounce in. And then, and then we hire them on a trial period. It's just that, and then, we're still setting up all the test projects. And then it's for you to learn how to analyze it, which I'm also going to make a video for each one. So it just takes time to make all the videos and to just learn it, And as you said, like if they don't respond with the test project, we just stop messaging them. If they have been shortlisted, but if I have been in there and checked and then I archive them and they continue reaching out, you can message them, sorry, we have decided to move on with another freelancer. Thank you for your time. And I think that's it. Like that's perfect. And then we try to just keep the jobs open. If closing them means any problems, it doesn't matter. Then we'll just keep it open. And whenever we start to run out of shortlisted people, then you can post a new job. For the video editor, I've hired 3 people now. So I don't think if they're going to come at us and say, yeah, you're not hiring people, then Upwork doesn't know what they're talking about. So then they will unban us. If they ban us, they will unban us again because we are hiring people. So it just takes some time. And they know that. They know that it takes time to hire people. So I don't think they're going to smash us after 2 days of not hiring, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. Totally.
And the priority now, as I told you before, has been the content manager, or like the social media manager. The reason I haven't hired yet is just because I'm still working on the onboarding document, because it's quite a big role, like it contains a lot of different things. So I also wanted to discuss that with you today, because regardless of if you have that role or not, like potentially you could even have the role first. Secondly, even if you don't have it, maybe you will be hiring for the role. So it's good for you to know it. And fourthly, even if you're not even hiring for the role, I think it's good for you to know every role. Because as I said on the message, I think it would be great if you could be like my right hand and step in where it's needed and help with management of people and stuff. So I think there's nothing to lose for you to know everything inside out and watch all the videos and over time just learn and know everything very well.
For the job post that we have, for example, we have a job post on basic video editor. So usually you have a requirement, for example, XYZ, there's a video and you want it to be edited less noise, you can reduce the noise, make it very simple, follow this color theme or whatsoever. I would need to know the the requirements from you, just so I can know the job post better. So when I'm communicating to them and they send me a job test, so I know, okay, this is what Oscar wants. So he worked on the requirements, and yes, we can go ahead with them.
Yeah, and we will when I tell you, then we'll make sure you're ready for it. You know what I mean? Now the best thing you can do is just to watch, just read the test project, watch the video, and watch all the videos. And when I feel like you can take over and analyze the test project, then we'll make sure that you know everything you need to. But I will tell you when. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that does. Totally does.
Yeah, and to be prepared is just to watch all the videos, because basically the way to get up to date on a role is going to be to watch a bunch of videos where I outline all the instructions. And sometimes even watch it many times over. That's going to be how we onboard people, including you. And including me as well. So that's the best way to just stay up to date.
Yeah, totally.
My biggest priority is to start getting those sales up as quickly as possible, but we can't do it unless we're prepared in the production. So yeah. So, and I don't know when that's going to be, as soon as possible, I hope. And the first thing I'm going to do is when we do it, I'm going to get you the email address and we're gonna start emailing. You're gonna get a bunch of emails, and then we're gonna start emailing.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then until then, we just have to focus on the recruiting and the other roles. Getting help is never flawless, which means that analyzing a test project, for example, before there is a system in place and there are clear instructions for you how to analyze it, it saves me more time to just do it myself. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
if I don't give clear instructions, you're going to make mistakes when you analyze it. So then I'm still going to have to analyze your analysis. So in the end, I had saved time for me. I only added time because I also have to talk to you about it. So then I have to do double the work almost, which is why before I give a task, I want to make sure I have a video with all the instructions that the person can watch over and over to really understand it. Yeah. So before I have those videos done, it's difficult to outsource the tasks. And as I said earlier, the best way you can be prepared when the task comes is if you watch other videos beforehand. Here you can see, and this is like the different roles, how they're connected, who reports to who, all this stuff. And everything is connected. Like even if you're over here, not right now in the recruiting, if you know these things, all these roles, if you know this flow, like if you know this, that's going to make your role much easier and better. Similarly, if you're here, like a content manager, if you know these roles and you know how they work, that's going to make your job and your role much better. So like it's all connected. And in the videos and in the instructions, I'm using this model and this terminology consistently. Like there's something, watching every video, there's always something to learn because everything connects back to this in some way. And I mean, this one is the most important right now. This one is the most I'm putting the most time and effort into because I haven't, you see how many arrows goes into it? So this role will save me a lot of time. The thing is though, just because it's such a big and important role, it's also very hard to prepare. Like it's a lot to like include in it and stuff. So it takes some time for me to have clear instructions. Basically this person, what will happen is that they will manage this part here. This will be like the thing that we're building out in anticipation of being able to do email sales because we're waiting for email sales. I told you that is the main priority. And that's why you've been starting to see all the videos on YouTube because I'm making all these like instructional videos. And these instructional videos are the instructional videos for these roles here that I'm starting to build out. Okay, so I hope that makes some sense. Yeah, does it make sense?
Yeah, it does totally make sense.
And then this role manages this whole process, the whole thing here. Basically what I'm doing right now. And soon we'll have a big team. You see how big team this will be.
Yeah.
And the reason here you can see there are 3 people here right now. The reason there are 3 people isn't necessarily because we need 3 people, but it's because I know that some of them are, going to quit after 2 weeks. Some of them are never going to produce good enough work, all this stuff. And that's why we're doing this with the recruiting. That's why we're making it very high volume because I know that most people are not going to live up to the standard or they're going to quit or XYZ reasons. So we need to hire more people than we actually need and then filter down so we only get the best ones. That makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
And if everyone performs well, that's just good. Then we got a lot of good people into the company and we'll find a place for them. Even if they start here in editing, maybe they jump to thumbnails or something, we'll find a place. If they're good people, they do a good job, we'll find a place. This whole recruiting, it's a long period of, evaluating people and picking out the best people. And for that, you need high volume. The one feedback I could give, if you can, is to potentially like try to have some more personality, some more human, because most of the things that you write, like it's extremely wise. It's like, it's really good. Text is extremely wise. It's like it's some super old man, being super clever, which is cool and great. But I think also Twitter is a lot about just the personal connection. And I mean, have you seen Elon Musk tweets, for example? I'm not saying we're like Elon Musk, but sometimes it's just stupid shit, And it's okay to have some stupid shit sometimes. Not at his level, definitely not at his level. But people also relate to fun, to humor, like to personal connection. So don't be afraid to like show some personality in especially like the comment outreach. Sure. Because that's also what gets people to click because it creates an emotion. If the only emotion we create is like, oh shit, that was really wise, that's going to connect with a certain amount of people. We don't really want to offend people. We don't want to make them mad, but that's also, an emotion that can also make people click. So we always have to think, what emotions are we trying to create with this text?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And the thing about being very wise and smart also is that with AI now and everything, a lot of people would just assume AI. And we don't want people to assume we're AI also. Like we need to provide proof that we're not AI so that they don't think we are.
Yeah, if you have seen, if you have had a chance to see the comment outreach from the last 3 days, you've been seeing I've been doing blunt comments. I've been doing the motivational ones. I've been doing the engaging ones. I've been trying to go, everywhere now, excluding the funny part. Yeah, I've tried to go everywhere.
I've seen some of the outreach and generally, like, I think it's great. What you put there is great. And I know it can be hard, especially if you're doing it for someone else, like if you're doing it for me, but it would be great if we can add some more like personal spice to it, like through a personal reflection or story or, because in the end, I think we need to remember, like, we need to get them to click. So, not most of them, they see it, they're like, oh, this was cool, they like it, and they move on. But somehow we need to get them to click.
Got it.
Questions are great, to make them reflect and maybe click. Also, like challenging people is also good. Because then they're like, who's this guy, like challenging me here a little bit? And with challenge, I don't mean like explicitly challenging them, but it's more like, yeah, okay, so what did you do to, like, did you actually live up to what you said in this tweet? Let's say they say like, yeah, you need to work out every day. That's their tweet. And your current approach would be something like absolutely consistency beats intensity or something, which is super smart. It's great. But to create more of a challenge, it's more like, we could say maybe, I've been trying to do like, so this is the comment, okay? I've been trying to work out every day straight and I couldn't do it. How do you do it? That's a very like personal, and it goes great with the brand because it's also, with our brand, you don't need to work out because you just wear our clothes. So it's a very good, in this case, it's quite a good personal comment because, okay, well, I tried to work out every day. It didn't work for me. So how do you do it? How do you stay consistent? I hope it makes sense. Building out this, I mean, I've been showing you these things, how we're working really hard to like build out this team now. We're recruiting a bunch of people and it takes a lot of time. All of these things are things like you can make these personal reflections, right? Because you're part of this. So you see it.
Yeah.
I see an example. I just pulled up a tweet here that you commented. You said, I used to chase highs, now I chase freedom. That was his tweet. And then you replied, chasing freedom is the ultimate pursuit, which is good. But then let's think. And then he replied, all in on it. Okay. And then let's assume we were going to try to do this, that we were going to try to add a more personal reflection on it. Let's try. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
His tweet was, I used to chase highs, now I chase freedom. And then let's say if I were to reply on this tweet right now, I would say something like, I've been trying to build out a remote team now for 3 weeks. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I'm not saying that's the best tweet ever, but at least it's a little more personal.
Yeah.
Because the thing that happens is that when someone sees the comment you made, which is chasing freedom is the ultimate pursuit, it's a bit inspirational, it's great, and then maybe people like it and then they scroll on. Whereas let's say we take my example with, I've been trying to build out a remote team now for 2 weeks. Some people are going to be like, oh, like why is he building out a remote team? Then they're going to click on the profile. Some of them are going to be, oh, but I want to build out a remote team. Then they're clicking on the profile. So it's about creating personal related. And some people will be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, why does he need a remote team? Why does he think he needs a remote? Like it creates these thoughts in people and these feelings. And that's what we need to get to. And then, we're going to edit this video so you can rewatch this video as well. You can rewatch it like 2-3 times. I can try to give more example if you need it. The challenge here is for you to do it on my behalf. That's the challenge. Because you can, once you have the right mindset, you can make these personal reflections quite easily and quite quickly. The first thing I would say that this guy isn't really our target audience. So I would question to even comment on this guy in the first place. So I mean, that would be the first kind of feedback comment, I guess, to when it's possible to always try to focus on our target audience, which is health and fitness people, fitness coaches, health coaches, fashion people, because that's more where natural resistance is targeting. But let's look at this tweet. So is that your actions reflect who you are. Your words are simply reputation management. And then you said words can lie, but action always tells the truth, which is like, it's a great tweet. Like no one's going to argue with that, right? And maybe that's a little bit part of the problem because we want people to argue a little bit. We want them to create, to make them think and maybe question it also a little bit. In the end, it has to be true because we don't want to lie. Yeah. Okay. So I would say something like, in this case, I would say, to add like a personal reflection, I would say, I'm trying to post everything I do all the time to prove that I'm doing what I say I'm going to do. Not. Yeah. Potentially. I'm not saying it's the best tweet, but but you know that this is true, right? Because you see what we're doing. You see, I'm recording everything. I'm recording. So you could potentially make that connection, right? So here's a question. So that's pretty good. Be extreme or don't bother doing it at all. If you're not going all out, why bother? Okay. So one example that I could give here could be like, I spent the last 3 years trying to build my company, Natural Resistance. Yeah, it takes a lot of time, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else. For example, most successful people aren't the smartest. They're the ones who act while others hesitate. And then I'm going to say, I have learned from experience that imperfect action always beats perfect hesitation. It's not like I'm an expert on tweeting or anything. In the end, there are no rules here. But in the end, the only thing that differentiates a personal brand like me and you, everyone else, from both from AI and from other people is the individual experience that we have. So somehow to get we need to get the personal aspect out there because that's the only thing that makes us different from everyone else. In the end, that's the only thing that we really can provide that's unique. And on top of that, we can add a bunch of other stuff like, facts, statistics, knowledge, wisdom, all this stuff. Yeah, but it's difficult. It's super difficult. Your best morning routine. Wake up, drink water. Okay, so that's a good tweet. It's a bit funny, right? So let me think how we can make this personal. So here I learned something. So this is a funny tweet because when you get, you see, wake up, drink water, consume coffee. Remember how handsome you are. This one, before, then you're like, haha, you chuckle a little bit on the inside, right? So then I think if it is a funny tweet, then I think we should also try to respond in a funny comment. I came up with, it's like, unfortunately, I'm not handsome. That was just the first thing I came up with. I guess it's a bit funny and it's a bit personal. The problem with this tweet is that it has nothing to do with like the brand or anything. But I'm gonna post this one because I think it's quite funny. So, what do you think about this tweet? You think it was bad? Do you think it was funny?
Okay, basically, we just have to make curiosity, make suspense, and we want people to visit our profile. So they're going to see if you're handsome or not by visiting you. Yeah. So exactly. Let's try to do 1 week this week, maybe with more personal tweets, more questions, more, multiple questions. So just so we can, grab more audience to our pages. Since we're launching, let's try to do, or maybe I usually post 4 tweets or 3. What I can do is I can, post every 2 to 3 hours a new tweet. Let's increase the volume of tweets, I think, because a question won't take measure.
So the thing is, because you write the tweets in a separate document, right? Now you can also make them up here. So here I had a tweet already I had saved, let fear fuel you. And then you can just post it immediately like that. So that could be a one way to easier. But what I was going to say initially was to just schedule them immediately. You can do what you want. I don't know how you're doing it, but it could be helpful also to just schedule them. And you can schedule them with 2 hours apart. I think at this point, our tweets, you see here, we're barely getting any views, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's not so much about the tweets themselves. We can post double amount of tweets, but we're not getting any followers from the tweets. The reason we're getting followers is because people just see our comments and they're like, oh, I'm going to go in and follow this guy and hopefully get a follow for follow. Sadly, that's essentially the only reason people are following us right now.
Yeah.
And so when we follow someone else, they go in, click on our profile, maybe follow us back to be nice, maybe scroll through our content a little bit. But unfortunately, no one's going to follow us because they see our tweet and which means that our game right now is almost entirely all comment outreach so that we get more views. And then the tweets start to matter. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because all feeds, so the more profile clicks we get, the more people who view our tweets, that will lead to our tweets getting even more views. And that's when it starts to count more. When we start getting 500,000, then things get better. Because at this point, with so few views, we can't even trust the data because we have too little views to trust the data to know if it was actually a good tweet or not. If you look at this one, we only had 1 like and we had 54 views. Using data, we would say this was a bad tweet because this is worse than everything. See, this has 89, this has 101, this has 254. So according to the data, this was a bad tweet. But we can't even make that conclusion because all of the tweets have too little data to begin with. So like this could have been a banger tweet. This could have gone viral and gotten 10,000 followers if we just had or 10,000 views. Maybe I'm not saying it would, but potentially if we had the underlying systems to make sure that we got views, but we don't. So we are starting to get more views, but it's still not enough. And at this rate, yeah, maybe in 3 months it will start to matter. So it's quite slow. So hopefully it will change and we will see more impressions.
How about we increase the number of tweets that I'm responding to, and also let's make a strategy of making curiosity and adding a personal touch. I'm just going to do that right after the meeting. I'm going to start doing it to see how it goes and how it performs. How about we do 150? Reply to 150 tweets a day, or maybe more than that.
Yeah, we can try. We can try. I mean, I think if you, my hypothesis is that if the more comment outreach you do, the better there's also going to be, and it's going to be linear. So like, if you can do 150 a day, that's going to be better than 100. If you can do 200, that's going to be better. Like it's going to be a linear effect. It's also the effect of ads. Like if I run ads, then we get views instantly, a lot of them. So it's also that question like what's most in the end, like what's worth it? Is it worth it to pay you to make comment outreach, or is it more worth it to just make an ad or just promote it?
Yeah.
But I do hope and believe that being authentic and putting in effort leads to greater results in the end. But I mean, the only thing is for me, the only thing is to like not lie or say anything that's like factually incorrect. That I think that's like the most important. Otherwise, I'm quite chill. You can say almost anything, But I just I guess we'll see. We'll see afterwards what I think. If I think you, I don't know, if you said weird stuff or something, I don't like it. But we'll try. We have to try.
I can try a mix of both, basically. A mix of both is going to be a great idea.
Thank you, Faizan.
Thank you.